What's going on, guys? World Chokes back again with another live stream for you guys. Now, I've not uploaded for about 4 or 5 days, but I am officially back, and I decided to bring two special guests with myself. I brought on Matisse and Frank Khalid. Thank you, first of all, for tuning in. Matisse, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to be back. I've only been here on it once, I think. So last time
Yeah, you never want to join me, man. You never want to join
your
me.
connection was bugging. I had to host.
Yeah. Frank Khalid, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Really appreciate that.
Yes, it's good. It's good. You guys have helped me a lot previously, so I have to bring you guys on. So in this video, we're just going to be discussing about whether the Premier League should continue, talking about how the youth have done at Chelsea this season, and just a few targets and answering a couple of questions from the comments as well on YouTube. And everyone that's tuned in, please do smash the like button, subscribe if you're new here, and hit the bell notification. I'll be trying to upload every other day again from now on. So yeah, we're going to continue with the Premier League. Matisse, do you think the Premier League should continue? First of all, I think another Brighton player was tested positive recently. What's your take on that? First of all,
yeah, I've always had the same opinion throughout the whole thing. I've taken this pandemic quite seriously. Hence why I just dipped out of the UK for starters, because the UK was the isolation and the social distancing. They weren't really being too prominent with it. So a Brighton player, the third one I think today, tested positive.
Yeah, third one.
Yeah, the chief executive of Brighton, he's confirmed that they tested positive yesterday. So for me, Germany is going to be a big test this weekend when they go ahead. That'll be a good indication of if it can happen. But even still, Germany have had their COVID cases under control a lot more than the UK. I think they're only 1,000 or so deaths, which is quite good for a country of that size. Whereas the UK have broken the record for Europe. So I don't personally because we're just going to see this more and more. We're just going to see players, coaches, managers of older age, commentators who are going to contract the illness, and then things are going to have to be on hold, and you're not going to get a fair competition with stadiums, venues. They're talking about shortening the game time.
Yeah, 60 minutes.
It's not fair. To be honest, and there's no way it can go ahead and it's going to be fair. So I would just say just cancel the whole thing.
Frank, what's your take on the Premier League continuing?
No, I agree with Matisse. Actually, I think the season should be cancelled. It's too much of a risk for the players. Don't forget they've got families as well, so they go back to their families as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you said, 3 Brighton players have tested positive, and they haven't even kicked the ball yet. I mean, what's going to happen? Playing? And for me, it's the wrong reason why everyone has to, why the people want to go back to football, and it's money, isn't it? And really, I think life comes before money. And
yeah, definitely, 100%.
And football is not just about football; it's about the fans as well. And to have no fans there watching it as well. I mean, I watched recently the game between PSG and Dortmund, and there was no atmosphere, no nothing. It just didn't feel right. It felt like a training session, and I just
it's true, man.
For me personally, I'll cancel the season. And I know people going on about they should give the title to Liverpool. I don't think that should happen neither, because at the end of the day, what happens with relegation, what happens with promotion, what happens with everything else, I think it should be voided completely. I think, end of the day, I think we should restart it in September, October time and restart the season. It is what it is, unfortunately.
Big statement.
Yeah.
Massive statement from Frank there. You kind of answered my question already. But I was going to say that I think there are 2 teams that have played one less game. And if that was to be played and then they end it on the points per tally, would you be happy with that? Points per tally? Matisse, we'll start with you.
So what do you mean in terms of points? I thought this was Frank.
So obviously, like I think Sheffield United and one other team have played 28, and they're saying for that game to be played behind closed doors, and then every club will be on 29, I believe it is, and then end the season there with the current points, current top 4, current relegation, and take it from there. Because if that doesn't happen, I kind of see maybe Liverpool playing one more game. Well, every club playing one more game behind closed doors. Liverpool try to get the title. mathematically, and then they'll say, you know what, they've got the title, cancel everything else. You know, I still feel like they're still gonna push somehow for Liverpool to get that title, regardless if they put our lives at risk. Something's gonna be happening. There's too much revenue involved as well. That's how I see it right now. You know, players are training right now from this week as well, so they clearly got something behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is that it's not a complete season, right? So how can you relegate teams if there's more games to go? It's not fair. And like you said, there's too much money involved coming out of the Premier League and dropping out, paying salaries, revenue, money coming in. Same for Champions League places. You know, the extra TV money that you get from that, and even some people have said, oh, it doesn't matter for the mid-table teams. Every position that you play, you get a certain amount of money for each finishing position. So there's money involved everywhere. So there's no real happy ending for, you know, we all play 29 or 30 games and then end it there, and then that's what we're going to take. Because at the end of the day, teams will be like, well, I was only 1 point off Champions League, so how's that fair that
Real talk.
The only way to really be 100% fair is to say this season never happened, and then you go off last season's full Premier League table, because that's the last time we had a full table to go off and say, listen, this is what happened. We can't really say anything happened in a 30 game season because it's not complete. I mean, at the end of the day, people, you know, a lot of people are not looking at this in detail as well. Players have to train in isolation first. Then they have to train in small groups. And that's even before, like you said, Brighton have already had cases. There could be cases happening while that's going on. That's just the first few. Then they have to train as a group to get match fit and tactically ready for a game. By that time, you're going to have cases before you even step onto the pitch in a contact sport where sweat, blood, drip. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. So it really is. It sounds nice, but there's a reason why everything's been cancelled. There's a reason why Olympics has been cancelled. There's a reason why Coachella has been cancelled. It's not for banter. There's money involved in every event that goes on in the globe. And for some reason, the Premier League think they're special. They're not.
No, it's true. It's true. Frank, what's your take on that? Of course, points per talent. Are you fully against it, and you're just saying no way, just void the season, start again, maybe in September?
I think the plus point for us is that Chelsea are in a good position either way, aren't they? Because
we're
in there, so we're okay. Personally, I think we should cancel it. You know, because at the end of the day, like we just said, points per tally, it's not going to be fair on those teams at the bottom, is it really? Because some teams were in form, some teams were not in form, and it just be unfair. I mean, imagine the money they will lose if they get relegated. You know, people's livelihoods are on the line. If they play on, imagine if a player was to catch it and pass away or something happened to him or his family member. I think life is far more important than money. I think, yes, of course it's going to hurt. And once again, I think Chelsea are in a good position as well for the summer because we didn't buy anyone in the last 2 windows. I mean, we just bought Zero now, obviously. But for me personally, I think they have to restart. And too many people are saying Liverpool do deserve it, but unfortunately, it is what it is at the end of the day. Whether they waited 30 years, I'm sure they can wait another few. You know,
Frank, man.
They really can't.
The banter, man. United, Liverpool, you love it. Honestly, I enjoy your content, man.
I have a few Liverpool friends, and they were messaging me every week. They were winning. Every time you saw that being tweeted, how many games they were going, they were gonna. But it's not a laughing matter. It is what it is. Unfortunately, it could have happened any time. It could have happened in now. First, 2004, 2005 could have happened. Double winning the season, but it's happened now. It just. Unfortunately, isn't it? Just the way things have happened. But yeah, I mean,
and how's it for you in general with like your businesses? Is everything going okay in general? Like,
I have 3 businesses, main businesses. The rest I do a little bit here and there, but the 3 main businesses is one. I have a restaurant and wedding hall, which is totally closed. So that's been affected. Film studio has been affected because no one can film where there's mass gathering. But the 3rd business is doing particularly well. It's a Cash and K. I supply the smaller retailers, independent stores, and that's doing particularly well. And that's why I've been quite busy with that.
of course.
1 out of 3 isn't too bad, but it's still very difficult at the moment. It's just everything is very difficult. The good thing is a lot of players have been contacting me, speaking to me, coming down for shopping. I've had a few that come down in that time.
Yeah.
And interesting what they're saying as well. They are worried. You know, you can see it in their face. They're worried. You know, they don't know what's happening. They're bored as well. They want to play as well. So, you know.
Do you think they want to return? Do you think they want to return right now? Do you think they just want to hold off for a bit, personally?
When I spoke to JT, he didn't say too much to me, JT. And I think the reason why he didn't want to say too much is because deep down, I think he wanted it cancelled because he wants Aston Villa to stay in the Premiership. So he didn't say too much to me. Didn't really let on. When I spoke to Callum Hudson-Odoi, I think he was raring to go because he's just been injured. So he just wants to be on that pitch. And especially now we're coming to the business end of the season as well. So he feels he maybe can do something, contribute there. We're still in the FA Cup. Champions League, you never know what's going to happen second leg. I think we're out. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's going to be some interesting
comeback.
Yeah, there's going to be some interesting games. Who else have I spoke to?
That's true.
I spoke to Patrick Van Arnold of Crystal Palace, and he was very keen to get back. He's getting bored at home with the kids, he was telling me. So he wants to get back as well on that pitch.
Yeah.
So a lot of them want to play. So it's different. Depends on your club. Depends on what situation your club is at, isn't it, really?
No, it's true. It's true. I think Chelsea hold all advantages. Of course, like Frank said, we haven't really spent that much money in the last 2 windows. However, I know it's just Instagram. You know, Frank Lampard following Mertens recently, or maybe it was from before. I've just seen many people talking about it. Matisse, is it a very good move? Chelsea signed this player?
Yeah, I can't really see much wrong with this move, especially in this current climate. A lot of fans have not adapted their transfer targets to the pandemic. You know, Chelsea right now, every day are losing money. They're not getting match gate receipts. They don't know if they're going to get their TV revenue. They don't know if they're going to get their Premier League finishing money, their Champions League finishing. Like, you know, even Morata's transfer fee. I'm just happy to hear that Atletico Madrid are still going to pay up. So that. Go.
Is it confirmed?
I think I did see a few days ago that Morata will be going to Atletico Madrid for the money, and I was
for that money.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of money, you know, going around, and we don't know where it's going to end up because obviously things are not complete. So to get someone like Dries Mertens, who's a quality player, people are really starting to underrate him. You know, this is a guy, I think he got 6 Champions League goals in 7 games or something like that, something silly this season.
Yeah.
He had a very difficult group. He had Barcelona in his group, Liverpool in his group, and he scored goals. So, you know, on a free transfer, when we just got rid of Pedro plus 30, we're going to need some experience to replace them. Giroud obviously had his contract extension, but it doesn't mean he's actually staying. It just means Chelsea want a bit of money for him potentially. So when you're getting rid of all of these plus 30, you do need to replace them with a little bit of experience. You know, you can't have everybody being under the age of 23. So, you know, he can play in like three different positions as well. So it's a great player to have. And I think he'll teach Tammy a lot in training. I think Tammy will learn a lot from him. Movement-wise, Tammy's got it. He needs to brush up on his finishing. I think he'll teach him a lot in training. So on a free, you can't really go wrong. It's a good safe buy.
Yeah, Frank. No, it's true. Frank, what's your thoughts?
I've got mixed feelings, I'll be honest with you. I like Mertens, but the only thing I'm looking at is the future. We've got a young team. We have got experience with Olivier Giroud. He's staying there for another season, unless we're going to sell him. Me personally, Timo Werner, he's there. Liverpool said they don't want to buy him yet. I think we need to go and get him. And if he's available at £50-odd million, let's go and get him, because he's the future. I don't know how old he is. He's 23, 24, is he?
Roughly, he's basically young. He's young, yeah.
So for me personally, that's who I would go for. And, you know, you got to look at the future as well. I mean, yes, Mertens would be great, but how many? 1 or 2 seasons? I don't know. You know, I don't know how many years he's got. He's 30. Is he 32, 33? How old is he?
32, I think. 32 now.
I mean, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's a good player in a good Napoli team, but I don't know how he's going to adapt to the Premiership. Not everyone can play well in the Premiership. You know, it demands pace, physique, and everything. You know, it's a different league altogether. I don't know. But if you're looking for,
no, it's true.
If you're talking about money's not available. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, maybe it's a short-term Short term wise, maybe it'd be all right. But for me, let's take advantage of what's happening out there at the moment. They're a team that they haven't got the money, and if we've got the money, we've got the Marathon money coming in. Let's use it wisely. Because with with Timo Werner, we'll have him for the next 3, 4, 4, 5, 6 years. You never know how long.
Yeah. Well said. Well said.
That's what I would do anyway.
That's true. It's true. Some of the comments are saying Mertens is 1 goal away from all-time top scorer of Napoli. I don't know if the Italian league is going to be continuing. Matisse, do you know if it's going to be continuing?
I'd hope not. I'm not. Last time I heard on the Italian leagues that they're finished. They were going to stop. So unless something else has come out, I'm not sure. But I haven't heard anything.
Oh, okay.
I heard that
because maybe he might just stay there or get 1 more goal. Sorry, Frank.
I've heard they're going back to training there. So if they finish the season, why are they going back training in Italy?
Oh, if they go back to training, then Mertens might need to get that 1 more goal or something to get that all-time top score. I think that's why he didn't join in January, most likely. He didn't leave. But then again, Inter are also interested in the player, which kind of would have made sense for him to go there personally. And there's also rumours that if Mertens does come, then we can sell Giroud for at least 5 to 8 million euros. They just, kind of extended that deal to make sure we have a backup plan. I'm happy with either personally. I'm happy with Giroud. I kind of understand what Frank's saying. But it really depends on how much money we can spend, because if we sign on Werner, then can we sign those top players like Sancho? I've heard something recently that I think after next year, he's only got like a year contract left at Dortmund. So maybe it's better to wait out on the player and get him on the cheap. Maybe. That's something that we might be looking at as well.
Sorry, Matisse, you wanna say?
Yeah, I mean, just quickly on Sancho, because I've said so much on Sancho in the past. so much on Sancho, and I know Frank's got some rattling to do here.
Frank's got a lot.
In a minute. Just on Sancho, I mean, this is I think this is a player that you don't get many opportunities to sign a player like this. You really don't. Someone that fits the ethos of what we're doing as well. Not just a marquee signing, he's actually someone that fits in with the group very well. And in an area we struggle in where we need output, we have a lot of creators. We don't actually have the goals to match up to that. We haven't got players that can finish. Sancho certainly can. It's a player that we need to go ahead with Man United and really push. If we don't get him, we've tried our absolute best and we've pushed them right to the hill. Even if you have to push that bid up on Man United and just keep a bidding war going and make sure that they have to pay stupid money if they are going to get him, because to be honest, if he does go there, he's going to improve them a lot. He suits them so well as well. So it's not a player we should allow to go to Man United very, very quickly at all.
Yeah, definitely. Before Frank goes on, Carefree Lewis in the comments, big up, man. You're gonna be on the stream soon, man. My next stream. But yeah, Frank, tell me, Sancho. I know you're gonna let a lot out on this.
Well, for me personally, I think he's gonna stay for another season. I think he will probably wait and see what's happening. He doesn't know when Man United are in the Champions League. Chelsea, he's probably got one eye on them. But I think, for me, when I spoke to his dad, he was talking, even though he was a Chelsea fan, he would love to go there, but it is all about the money. Who pays him the most salary? And that, unfortunately, Man United, we know, love paying salaries, don't they, with the players they've got. I personally think we should wait a season, let him stay at Dortmund. And he'll give another season for our younger players to get better. Also, I think personally that it'll also get a chance for our younger boys to also show what level they can get to. And Sancho will have a good look at both teams, Man United and Chelsea, and then he can decide where he wants to go to. At the moment, it's all about the money. But if we can show him what a great team we are, then hopefully, we will persuade him to come to us. But it is, for me, I think it's all about the money. Man United has said that they might most likely not going to spend that money this summer, but probably the following summer. But yeah.
What about Champions League? You think Champions League plays a huge part in this, or you just think money is the number one factor right now?
I think Champions League is important, but I don't know with him. It is about the money. If he's getting paid a salary, if he doesn't get Champions League next season, then he can always get it the following season if he plays for them. I don't know. I don't think Champions League's got anything to do with it. I think it is money at the end of the day. That's what I feel at the end of the day. But if Chelsea do match, like Matisse was saying, if Chelsea do match the offer, match the wages, then I think he'll come to us, because at the end of the day, deep down, he would rather be playing for us than Man United. That's the one advantage we've got. But salary-wise and all that, Abramovich isn't the type of person that is, Chelsea not the type of club that sort of pay ridiculous wages, are we? We do pay reasonable amount, but not to the extent that, for example, was it Alexis Sanchez was getting paid?
Sanchez.
Yeah.
Over the top, man.
£500,000 a week. We can't. That's not us. I would never want us to go down that road anyway. So
no, it's true. It's true.
I think he'll stay another season at Dortmund. That's me personally.
Okay.
But you're right. Right. But Matisse is absolutely right. Well, we should, whatever happens, we should make it hard for Man United. We should match whatever their figure is and make sure that they pay the maximum money. And not, that's what we should do. Yeah.
No, for sure. Before we get into this season performances, Willian is someone that I want to talk about quickly. Whether he goes to Tottenham or Arsenal, do you think it will happen personally? And I kind of do see it happening because obviously David Luiz moved to Arsenal. He's got restaurants here. Well, they both have one here, which is why I kind of see maybe Willian moving to Arsenal or maybe even Tottenham. What's your take on that, Matisse?
I expect it to happen. I can't see where else he's gonna go. I mean, he loves London. That's why he's been trying to stay here so much. He's got a restaurant here, of course. Very good friends with David Luiz. He's got kids. I really don't see him moving. I mean, I see it more going to Tottenham than Arsenal because Jose Mourinho. The fact that Tottenham are reportedly on a strict budget as well with players. Even in January they didn't splash. They had to get Fernandes, I think, on a cheap deal. Sporting Lisbon one from Portugal, and they've been on a tight budget for as long as I can remember. Anyway, even with Poch, so it suits them to the ground to get a free deal on Willian. It's a player Jose Mourinho loves. It's a player Willian would love to work with Jose Mourinho again. He said it before. So for me, it's a done deal. I think the only reason why it's not announced is because clubs are very wary of announcing deals during where we're in a financial crisis. It's a little bit insensitive. But he's not staying at Chelsea. That's been confirmed with the way he's been talking and complaining about being able to get the third 3 years. I don't see a reason why it doesn't happen, to be honest.
No, true. Frank, I know you're very close with Willian in the past couple of seasons as well. What's your overall, from a Chelsea perspective as a fan, where do you think he'll move to, and why, basically?
I have to agree with Matisse. I think he'll stay in London because of the reasons that he just gave. Obviously, we'll all be upset, but let's be very honest. He's been hot and cold, hasn't he, all season, last few seasons. In certain matches, he produces fantastic magic, and then certain games, is very frustrating. I just think he's done what he's done. He's been with us for so many seasons. I think it's been six seasons he's been with us, 7 seasons.
Yeah, 7 seasons.
At the end of the day, he's won almost everything. And I think that if a younger player comes in, more hungrier, more passionate, I think that's better for us. We need goals, and he doesn't really produce the goals he should produce. And at the end of the day, if he goes, good luck to him. I don't think he didn't understand, obviously, how us fans, local fans, feel when they move to a rival club. I mean, he moved. I was pretty upset. He could have moved anywhere, but he moved there, Arsenal, and the same thing with Willian. I don't think he understands as well that by moving to another London club, it can hurt. It will hurt his legacy here. But saying that, we've had the best out of him from the best years. So, if he goes, then good luck. I hold nothing against him. I won't be too upset, to be honest with you. As long as you can replace him with someone that's just as talented, maybe a Jadon Sancho, like we've just been talking about, or even a Coutinho.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, end of the day, it'll also give more opportunity for the likes of Callum Hudson-Odoi, Christian Pulisic, give him a chance as well, because these guys, they're only going to get better, aren't they? And having Willian there or a Pedro there would have just blocked their progress. So I'm not too.
No, it's true.
I'm not too upset if he leaves, and
That's
I
true.
won't hold it against him as well. You know, end of the day, if he goes there, and but I don't think he's going to go there to win trophies. I just think he's going to go out there for his retirement. So.
Well said. Well said. Well said. Well said. I know I did say that we'll move on to the youth, but one name that's been coming up on the comments is Boga. Do we sign Boga back? I think the fee would be around £12 million. Initially, before the COVID scenario, they were saying that rumors were saying that we'll buy him back and then sell him again for a lot more money to help funds to buy other players in the summer. But would you take Boga back right now? I think he had a very, very good season. He's someone that likes to take risks, take shots from outside the box, score those wonder goals that we want to see from our players. Matisse, Boga, is he for you or no?
I mean, it's smart business even just to buy him and sell him again, because you're going to definitely make profit. He's definitely worth a lot more than the release clause. If you had,
100%.
you know, if you could some way have a deal set up with another club that actually want him and say, listen, this is what we're going to charge you, and we're going to buy him and sell him on to you like that. But to take him, you know, I'm definitely for taking him. My issue is I need a marquee guaranteed goal output signing, whether it's from wide or up front. Tammy's not guaranteed, but I believe he's going to be a lot better next season. So you have that option of keeping the mainstay and getting a Mertens. But if you do that, then I need a Sancho out wide, someone who's elite out wide. So if you're getting someone like Boga, then for me, you need to get a top striker who guarantees goals right now. If we're going to progress, definitely progress. If not, then you're taking a risk. So, you know, the players like, if you're saying that you're going to get Boga and Mertens as your two attacking options, it's cheap. Yeah. Business-wise, it's great. And you are improving the team slightly, but it's not guarantees. So if we're in a business of guarantees, then that's not the business you're looking at. But if you're just trying to be pretty smart with it and, you know, kind of cool and calculated with a little element of risk, then yeah, the deal makes sense.
Definitely. Frank, what's your take on Boga?
No, again, I agree with Matisse there again. You know, at the end of the day, look, if we don't get Jadon Sancho and we need a stopgap in between, either Boga or even a Coutinho loan for one season, something that would help us. We do need goals because that's what we lack. I think I was looking
Matisse
at a stat recently. You know, I think I was looking at a stat recently. I think we created probably more chances, just as many chances as Liverpool have, and yet the difference is we haven't converted them. So we definitely
converted,
And you know, having that striker who can score the goals, having a right winger like an Eden Hazard who can score goals, you know, that's what we lack. And the younger players are doing their bit, but you know, we do need a couple of world-class signings and up front. And for me, Boga is a great, like Matisse said, it'd be great to sign him and you know, we can resell him again if we have to and get a bit of money for him. But let's look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is we need someone that's going to make a difference, a world-class player that can score goals. You know, once we have that, you know, in abundance, you know, striker and a right winger, then, you know, then I think we're there almost. We've got to make them a fantastic team. Just another left back and centre back, and that's it. You know?
Left back. Yes. You just remind me about the left back, Frank.
Yeah,
you can remind me about the left back. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to look at the future, I think. Yeah, maybe short term, great, but let's look at the long term. And that's what we should be aiming for. We've got a young team. You know, if that class players come in, you know, the players that we've got, you know, it'll help them also to go to another level as well. They'll be more confident.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Definitely. 100%. And as you just touched on defense as well, left back. Just very short before we move on to the youth. Chilwell or Telles? Frank. Sorry.
Well, we've been talking about finances in football and how money's going to be tight. I think for me, it's got to be Telles, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, you're going to get a player. I think it's 27 or 28. I don't know how old he is. Alex, tell us.
Yeah, 28.
27, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's a class player. Scores goals. He's got pace. You know, to me, he's that type of person that make a huge difference to our attacking side of the game. And you know, I'll go for him. Chilwell's good as well. Don't get me wrong, he's good, but for the money, they're talking about 60 to 80 million pounds. I think it's
yeah.
If we're going to spend that kind of money, it has to be a forward player, as far as I'm concerned, that's going to guarantee you goals. You know?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah, definitely. Matisse?
Yeah, I have to agree with everything Frank said. I mean, 70 million, 60 million on a fullback is not really needed. Considering we've got away with Aspie, Alonso, Emerson, we just need an upgrade who's a left back for starters. You can go forward. Tellez, you know, ticks that box, and he's competent defending wise. Could be better, but for the price, it's good value for money.
Yeah.
I think I was seeing quotes of like 20, 25 million. That's nothing. So value for money. At value for money, he ticks all the boxes really. You know, if you're going to spend 60, 70 million, it has to be like an Alphonso Davies from Bayern or something. It's got to be someone who's just untouchable, top of their game.
Or Alaba.
Alaba's an interesting one because he's obviously very experienced. I don't know if he you know, he's played a lot of centre back as well for Bayern because of Davies. So he could kind of tick that box of like being a left-footed centre back. I just don't know if his height.
That's what I'm saying.
Would handle the Premier League, but you know, again, for the right price, it would be an interesting deal. He's obviously a top player. I do not see Chelsea going after him, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Obviously, thank you both for the transfer targets and whether the Premier League should continue. Now, lastly, the final topic we're speaking about is about our current youth players, how they've done this season. I just want to know who and why has stood out for you personally. So obviously we've got Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, Tomori. We can include Pulisic as well because he's a new signing. I just want to know who and why. We'll start with Matisse. Who has stood out for you mainly and why?
Between Pulisic and Odoi?
No, just in general, like all the youngsters that have come through, and Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi, everyone including Reece James. Who has stood out for you mostly this season overall? Consistently, everything.
I'd have to give it to Reece James because he's been so good. Like a lot of our attacking output has actually gone down that side. Like
right flank.
Yeah, we've almost leaned on him to be our output as a crosser. Someone that can literally just continue to spam crosses. It's not the most nice, not the most lovely way of creating chances. Of course, we'd like a little bit more variation, but we've kind of lent on him, so to speak, to create chances for us. And he's just been so consistent. You know, he's only had a few games. I mean, that game against Bayern where he was a bit out of depth, but that's to be expected. Most games he's been very good, very consistent. That's what you look for in a youngster. And it's very clear that he should be starting. He's top level player. So I'd have to say Reece James, just for the fact that he's come in and done a consistent job throughout the whole season. He's been very, very good.
Good statement, Frank.
It's a bit of an unfair question, really, because I think they're both. I think if I put it into, it depends what time of the season. Each one of them done particularly well. At the beginning of the season,
True.
At the beginning of the season, it was Tammy Abraham and Mason Mount who were playing brilliantly. Then obviously we had a little period where Hudson-Odoi started to come into it a little bit, started playing well. Pulisic had that purple patch where he's got a hat-trick and was starting to get really, influential as well. Then Reece James started to come into the picture. He played brilliantly as well for a certain period of time. And then obviously at the end, we've got Billy Gilmore obviously doing what he was doing. And also, in the beginning of the season, we had Tomori as well, doing really well. 7 games in a row. So, they've all done particularly well. If you're going to name one that stood out, and any one of those names which probably stands out more, I think it's very hard for me to decide. Is that of Mason Mount and Tammy Abraham? That of those two, because those two, we wouldn't be where we are without those two. Their goals have been so vital to us and what they've contributed to us for us, and they're going to get better. And that's when they're going to get bad, I think we only just saw a little bit of this season, but next season we're going to see the best of them. So
No, it's true. I think you explained that really, really well. I totally understand with the consistency in different parts of the season. I agree with that as well. There's talks about obviously, Declan Rice, and I know many Chelsea fans don't want him, and they're saying maybe Ampadu coming back. Do you see Ampadu, Van Ginkel, or maybe even Gallagher coming to this team, Matisse, next season?
No. Especially not Van Ginkel. I mean, he's a player that's running out of contract at the end of the season. I think the only reason why it's a little bit of a lot of love for him from Chelsea fans' perspective, but I think we need to be realistic with him. I think the amount of injuries he's sustained in a high press system that Frank's trying to play, it just doesn't make any sense in this physical league. It makes sense for him to go back to Holland, and he's got more time and space on the ball, and he can play football and be regular in the team. He's certainly not going to be a regular here, and for someone recovering from injury, trying to get some regular game time again to get their fitness up, that's what he needs, not to be sparingly in and out, pulling muscles, in and out of fitness. It just doesn't make any sense. So he doesn't have a future here, if we're being honest. And then Gallagher is a tough one because he's coming into a very overcrowded space already. We have a lot of midfielders: Kante, Jorginho, Kovacic, Loftus-Cheek, Mount, Barkley. For me, he needs a loan in the Premier League. One more loan. So even Ampadu's coming back as well. So
Ampadu.
On top of that is Ziyech, and Ziyech can play in the middle. A lot of people forget that. He can play wide, but he can also play in the middle. He does like to drift, Ziyech. So I don't see any space for Gallagher either, though.
Oh, big statement there. Frank, what's your thoughts on those three? Any of them coming back maybe in the cup games or...
I would like Ampadu back. I think he would make a bit of difference, more for defense, because he's actually been playing. Obviously, he plays in midfield, but he can play in defense as well. I think he's a type of player that I think is not a bad player for cover. So for me, of the three, Ampadu is the one that I think should come back. I think Conor Gallagher, I think he just needs another season out on loan, maybe in the Premiership, so he gets more experience. And
Van Ginkel.
What you said? Who's the third one?
Van Ginkel.
Van Ginkel, yeah. He's been injured. I'll be honest with you. He just needs
a lot.
I think Matisse just touched on it, that his contract's running out. I'm not sure if he's going to sign another contract, but again, I think he needs a loan out there a season just to get back to full fitness. I think it's going to be very hard for him to break into this current team, and it's a shame what's happened to him, because he looked like he was actually going to be very similar to Frank Lampard mode, scoring midfielder. And we sort of lack those. We need some scoring midfielders.
Yeah, definitely. In the comments right now, they're discussing about Rudiger. Some are saying that he's good enough. Some are saying that he's not good enough. Do you see him still at Chelsea? And who would you have as your two centre backs for next season, Matisse?
I don't know if the comment did this on purpose, but a lot of people know I don't like Rudiger, so I don't know if this is on purpose. This guy. I would sell Rudiger quite quickly and with no hesitation. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to be brutal.
To be replaced or just sell? Like to be replaced?
To be replaced, yeah. To be replaced. But yeah, I would sell him. Out of all the centre backs, I think he's the most ropey, the most erratic. And he's obviously the oldest, so he doesn't have the leadership skills that I feel are needed in that role. He has a few, but I think they're a little bit overrated. I think you can definitely improve upon that. If you're looking at all of the centre-backs and what they bring, I would say, Zuma, you're going to get the power, the pace, the brutality. And I think he's better at that than Rudiger. You got Christensen for the composure, the ball playing, just the sweeping centre-back that can cover for a dominant one. And then Tomori's not going anywhere because he's literally just broke through. So Rudiger, I don't really need, and we obviously need to improve our defence. I think everybody can agree with that. So yeah, I would sell Rudiger and bring in someone else for sure.
And who would you bring in? Realistically, with the money that we can spend,
exactly,
I don't expect a big signing, but do we really need someone like Nathan Ake, Ben White, and all these guys that we're linked with just to replace Rudiger?
Ake is a no from me because we've struggled from set pieces a lot, and he's very short. He's not very dominant. Like if you look at his aerial stats compared to the rest of our centre backs, he comes out quite low. I think he's actually lost. So of course we need someone that can actually defend set pieces, man marking, organise in that respect, because we know Kepa's not the best at that. So we need a dominant centre back. Preferably if they were left footed, that would be good for possession as well. I'm not sure because to be honest, I can't see anyone that's realistic that I could get. But obviously the club must be scouting. We've been linked to centre backs every single day, so I would expect them to have targets. But I wouldn't go for someone young. I would go for an experienced centre back who's been there and done it. We've got a lot of young centre backs. We don't need any more. I'd go for someone like a Koulibaly, like that, who's definitely gonna progress the careers of Christensen, teach them, Tomori, etc.
Big statement from you, Matisse. Frank, what's your thoughts? Should we sell Rudiger? And who's your preferred two centre backs for next season, or whether this season continues?
I'm a fan of Rudiger, but I have to admit, this season has been disappointing. I mean, that game against Bayern Munich looked so bad. They all did actually, but he looked particularly bad that day. For me, if you look at the season and you look at the best time, our best form was a time when Tomori and Zuma were the partnership. And when Rudiger was fit again, I think they dropped Tomori and they stuck him there in there, Rudiger, and then our form was, erratic. So for me, no, Rudiger, I think you're right, Matisse. I think we need to sell him, and we have to. I think we rely on Tomori, Zuma, possibly get another one in, a commanding centre half. But the problem is, where do you get him from? Who and they cost a lot of money these days. We know.
I think that's the worry.
Yeah. What we might need is defensive coach a little bit. Someone that can teach these guys a little bit of how to defend and how to sort of, especially set pieces. How to defend set pieces. But for me, Zuma and Tomori, I like the look of them. I thought they were doing very well up to that point when Rudiger came back. As soon as Rudiger came back, we started to lose games, and our form dipped quite badly. So
for sure.
But yeah, centre half, I don't know who is out there that we can buy. And
realistically,
realistically, they
cost
tough. £100 million now these days. So who do you buy? Again.
No, it's true.
I don't know. I'll bring Ampadu back, get rid of Rudiger, use the money somewhere else. That's what I would do personally.
Well said. I think we've answered everything for this video today. Within 45 minutes, as expected, guys. Everyone in the comments right now, big up everyone for tuning in, ask your questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I hope Matisse and Frank can come on again one day. Really, really appreciate you guys coming on, of course. And all their socials are in the description right now. You can follow them on Twitter and also on YouTube. I know Matisse is part of Blue Sands TV. But yeah, please definitely follow them on Twitter. They're on Instagram as well if you search them. And yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Please do smash the like button and subscribe. And hit the bell notification and tune in every other day. More Q&As coming out soon as well. Stay tuned, guys. And thank you all again for tuning in. Thanks, Frank. Thanks, Matisse.
See you later, boys.
Bye.
Well said.
Perfect.